Amy Lynn Bradley, born on May 12, 1974, was a talented and ambitious young woman. She attended Longwood University on a basketball scholarship, where she earned a degree in physical education. She was known for her athleticism and excelled in swimming, as well as having previously worked as a lifeguard. Amy was planning to start a new career with a computer consulting firm after graduation, and to celebrate this milestone, Amy and her family went on a cruise vacation aboard the Royal Caribbean international ship Rhapsody of the Seas. The cruise ship was going towards Curaçao, a Dutch Caribbean island within the Kingdom of the Netherlands. On March 21, 1998, Amy and her family boarded the ship. For the first 3 days, Amy and her family were enjoying their vacation, but things took a turn in the early morning of March 24th. Prior to her disappearance, Amy and her brother Brad stayed up late attending a Mardi Gras-themed nightclub party on the cruise ship. They spent the evening dancing, drinking alcohol, and socializing with the ship's band, Blue Orchid. One of the band members, Alistair Douglas, nicknamed Yellow, was seen drinking and dancing with Amy that night, and videographer Chris Fenwick captured footage of Amy and Yellow dancing. As the night progressed, Brad decided to call it a night and returned to the family cabin at approximately 3:35 a.m., a time confirmed by the ship's computerized door lock system. Around 5 minutes later, Amy followed him back to the cabin. Once back, Brad recalled sitting with Amy on the balcony of their suite, where they talked briefly before he went to sleep. Amy remained awake for a short time, but eventually fell asleep as well. Between 5:15 and 5:30 a.m. on March 24th, their father, Ron, woke up and checked on his children. At that time, he noticed Amy still sleeping on a lounge chair on the balcony of their cabin. However, when Ron woke up again at 6 a.m., he discovered that Amy was no longer on the cabin's balcony, and her cigarettes and lighter were also gone. When Ron first woke up and saw Amy, the door was closed. But when he woke up again, the door was cracked open, and he assumed she went to the top deck to take pictures. After searching the ship's common areas with no success, Ron woke the rest of the family at 6:30 to inform them that Amy was missing. The Bradleys immediately reported her disappearance to the ship's crew, pleading with them to restrict the 2,000 passengers from disembarking and to make an announcement for help. The crew at the purser's office delayed any ship-wide announcement, stating it was too early. An announcement was eventually made at 7:50 a.m., after most passengers had already left the ship. The cruise staff conducted a search of the ship between 12:15 and 1 p.m., but found no trace of Amy. The family believes the delay in the investigation significantly reduced the chances of finding her. Despite these efforts, Amy remained missing. The Dutch Caribbean Coast Guard launched a 4-day search, employing helicopters and radar planes, but it yielded no results. Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines also chartered a boat to assist in the search. Authorities initially speculated that Amy might have fallen overboard or died by suicide, but this theory was dismissed as Amy was a strong swimmer, and there was no physical evidence to support these claims. Several potential sightings of Amy emerged over the years. On the morning of her disappearance, 2 passengers reported seeing a woman resembling Amy on an elevator with cigarettes and a lighter. A cab driver claimed a woman matching Amy's description approached him, urgently asking to use a phone. In August 1998, a Canadian computer engineer claimed to have seen Amy on a Curaçao beach with 2 men. He described the woman as trying to catch his attention before disappearing into a nearby cafe. Her tattoos reportedly matched Amy's, and the man said he was 2 feet away from her, and he was sure it was her with complete certainty. In January 1999, a U.S. Navy petty officer stated he encountered a woman at a brothel in Curaçao who identified herself as Amy Bradley and begged for help, claiming she was being held against her will. Fear of jeopardizing his Navy career, having been in a brothel, he delayed this reported sighting and only spoke about it after retiring. In 1999, the Bradleys were contacted by a man named Frank Jones, who claimed to be a former U.S. Army officer with a team capable of rescuing Amy. Jones had claimed that his team had seen Amy being held by heavily armed Colombian personnel in a housing complex surrounded by barbed wire. The team also gave an accurate description of Amy's tattoos and sang the lullaby that Amy's mother used to sing for Amy. Over the next few months, Frank fed news to the family and provided reports on sightings of their daughter. When Jones told them they were going to attempt to rescue Amy, he said more funds were needed. The Bradleys sent a total of $210,000 to fund the setup for Amy's search, but the entire story was later revealed to be a scam. In February 2002, federal prosecutors in Richmond charged Jones with defrauding the Bradleys of $24,444 and the National Missing Children's Organization $186,416. Jones pleaded guilty of mail fraud and was sentenced to 5 years in prison. A couple years later, in 2005, a witness named Judy Moorer claimed to have seen Amy in a department store restroom in Barbados. Accompanied by 3 men, the woman allegedly said her name was Amy and that she was from Virginia before being forcibly removed by the men. Composite sketches were made, but no further leads developed. That same year, the Bradley family received an email. The email consisted of photos of a woman resembling Amy that was discovered on a website featuring sex workers. The woman, identified as Jazz, appeared distressed, fueling speculation that Amy had been sold into human trafficking. In 2010, a jawbone washed ashore in Aruba. Initially linked to another missing person, Natalie Holloway, the bone was ultimately excluded from her case but never tested for other potential matches, including Amy's. No DNA testing was done on the material, but it's said that the bone is human and likely from a Caucasian origin. Theories about Amy's disappearance range from abduction and human trafficking to foul play involving the ship's crew or passengers. Suspicion fell on band member Yellow because his story was inconsistent with CCTV footage, and Yellow reportedly told Amy's brother that he was sorry about what happened when no announcement had been made yet. Many people suspected that a waiter was also involved with her disappearance. Throughout the night, Amy's family was approached by the same waiter asking to pass on a note to Amy, involving an invitation for her to go drinking with him once they reached shore. In addition, the professional photographer had produced prints of all the images captured during the cruise to sell at a booth, but the family couldn't find any photographs of Amy, leading them to suspect that someone may have removed them. Authorities explored the possibility of Amy being killed aboard the ship and disposed by being thrown overboard, but the only piece of evidence supporting this theory is the finding of the jawbone. The FBI is currently offering a reward of up to $25,000 for any information that could potentially lead to the recovery of Amy, or leads to an arrest or conviction of the person or persons responsible for her disappearance. On top of this, the family is awarding $250,000 for information leading to her safe return, and a $50,000 reward for information leading to her current location. Lynn Bradley was declared legally dead on March 24, 2010, 12 years after the disappearance, with no witnesses and no body found. The most obvious explanation is that she may have woke up and vomited off the edge, lost her balance, and fell off the ship. Although she was a good swimmer, she was also intoxicated and could have been knocked unconscious hitting the water. But everything is just speculation, and as of now, she still remains missing, and no one knows what really happened.